All right, part 6 is an FTC part 2 problem. Very first thing they want us to do is find h of 1. And the nice thing about h of 1 is that means I'm integrating from 1 to 1. And when that happens, of course, I integrate to 0. So there's really no work to show there. You could have just written down 0. H prime of 4, you have to differentiate your expression here. So h prime of x is really just equal to f of x. And h prime of 4 will equal f of 4. And I have to read that off my graph. F of 4 equals 2. You don't have to show any work there either. So now, on what interval or intervals of h is the graph of h concave up? Well, we know that h prime of x equals f of x. So h is going to be concave up when its derivative, h prime equals f, is increasing. So I need to come over to my graph and figure out on what intervals my function f is increasing. That's here and here. So that will give me the intervals from 1 to 3, union 6 to 7. And then the last problem is, find the value of x which h has its minimum, and I think it means absolute minimum. It doesn't say relative, so we will assume absolute. So we have to compare the endpoints to the critical point. Now, h prime of x equals f, and the derivative of h changes from positive to negative at 5, which creates a local max on h. So that is actually not a candidate for the value that we need, the absolute minimum. And we know, by the way, that h of 0, we know that h of 1 is 0 from the first problem. So the question is h of 7 greater than 0? That's really all this question is boiling down to, because we need to find out whether 1 or 7 returns the lower value. And by the way, what I mean to say is h of 7 less than 0? Because we're looking for the absolute minimum value. So this is a little bit theoretical, but you have to come over to the graph of h, and you see that the area bound above the x-axis is quite large, and the area bound below the x-axis is small in comparison. So that means h increases more than it decreases. So say h of 1 is 0, it increases a whole lot and then decreases a little. So the absolute minimum value will occur at x equals 1.